Hey everyone, I'm NornQueenAlexis and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to the third part of the online review or reveal of Warhammer 40k's stuff, Games Workshop stuff that's coming out. So we have quite a lot of stuff to go over. Some things I'm excited about, some things I'm not. I wanted to do a preview of the last stuff that they announced, but I'm going to tell you this right now. The Angels of Death trailer demonetized my video every single time I tried to edit it. I got fed up and I threw out the video, so I do apologize about that. I am super excited about that. It's real stern, but oh my god, I was furious at that. Especially being that I put about 6 to 10 hours of editing and practice into doing these videos before I do them. Okay, so let's get into this preview online number 3. Okay, welcome to the third incredible online Warhammer 40k preview. I'm just going to keep calling it Warhammer 40k because I'm so used to saying Warhammer 40k. So yeah, you can see this all up on Twitch. I did actually watch it this morning, but I had to work today, kind of. I think I worked. I got to turn up this light because I am turning red if I don't. I don't know what's up with the lighting in here. It sucks. So, Age of Sigmar got a cool, what the heck is this? Alright. So before I do anything, I'm going to turn this all down. Oh, it's the giants! Look at those saggy boobs. They're so small. A massive new army. Wowzers. That's... sure is something. That does look kind of cool. See, okay. Alright. Here's where I stand with the Age of Sigmar armies, alright? I like Age of Sigmar armies if I can use them in everything that Warhammer Games Workshop puts out. So I'm talking Warcry, Shadowspear, I'm talking Blackstone Fortress, I'm talking like, it has to be compatible with at least 3 to 4 games in order for me to consider it interesting. For starters, like, I want to get Daughters of Cain. Now, what's cool about those is I can use them as Dark Eldar. I can use them in 40k as, well, a Slaanesh army, and they work perfect for that. I can use them as a Chaos Space Marine army if I really wanted to push it. And that's why I like that army. That's why I purchased that army. I did have a, what are the Warriors of Sigmar? The Sigmarine guys. I cannot remember what they're called right this second. I know somebody's going to call me out for this. But I did have about 3,000 points of them. I got rid of them because I was just like, ugh. Orks are another army that can be split. Demons, obviously. There's a lot of armies, if you get creative, can be used for both systems and can be used extremely well. Especially if you are good with bits and bit management and magnetization. Especially with orcs. Like, the orcs from Age of Sigmar look 100 times better than the orcs from Warhammer 40k. Gazgo looks like a beach ball. Just gonna say it. Actually, he looks like the mega evolution of Squirtle. Blastoise. That's it. I had to think about that for a second. I haven't played Pokemon in years. But that's what it reminds me of. But yeah. I think it's cool, but overall it lacks the aesthetic that I like in a fantasy setting. But if you're into giants and saggy boobs, I mean, this is all for you. It's not my cup of tea, but you know what? Some people like that. And I'm not here to shame them. So this is something else that I'm really excited about. If you guys don't know, I love Blackstone Fortress because it allows different things to be thrown into Warhammer 40k and get different rules like the Zote. And I'm super excited about this because I gotta go back to him. Look at this. I made this. I'm sorry. I love that meme so much. So, a new threat. It's cool to see the rogue trader on it.
Blackstone Fortress, harmless. Last chance to save Precipice.
All right.
Beware the Guardian drones. Repeat, beware the Guardian drones.
So it appears Precipice is under attack. I made this. How proud of I am. They're pretty large. Looks to be about the...
No, it can't be. You're dead.
Ooh. Ooh. So I'm definitely going to be getting this. Like, right off the bat, I'm definitely going to be getting this. And I'm super excited about this. Also, we finally get to see the warbands actually mixing up. So you got the Crusader from Captain Can Opener's set. And then you have the Rogue Trader himself, as well as the Eldar, the Ranger. You also see in the background the Chaos Lord. I cannot remember their names. I do apologize. Like, for no reason, they're escaping me. But it is kind of cool to see, like, a little bit of expansion onto the drone army. It would be really cool if they expanded this army a bit more and just kept going with it. And perhaps gave them, I don't know, rules for, like, kill team. And, yeah, like, I'm sorry, I would love this. Like, if they put Arbites in kill team and they put these things in kill team, I would be all over it. Let's see. The Fortress's Awakening. So if you guys don't know, the Blackstone Fortresses are Genesis projects by the Eldar, the older Eldar, not the the oldest Eldar prior to the fall of the Eldar, when they were just like, hey, let's collect everything, and they threw it all into a giant vault type thingy and sent it out in the form of the Blackstone Fortresses. There were also their gargantuan anti-psyker / psyker boosts. They're plot hole devices. They're literally whatever they need them to be. Precipice is in peril, and the explorers must band together to prevent all that work from being destroyed. Ascension gives you a different way to play as you race through the ever-changing corridors of the Blackstone Fortress in search of a way to shut down and stop Obsidian Mollusk. Mollusk? That's this guy, the Chaos Lord. Once and for all. This massive expansion, that means it's probably going to include new game tiles and everything, will bring you a new adventure, new rewards, new enemies, such as these Guardian drones. I really like the Guardian drones. It looks like they have hurricane bolters on the side of them. I'm sorry, that's what it looks like to me. Or some type of stinger salvo or something. Look at your little arms. I love it. They're like little Tyrannosauruses. They're so cute. I'm sorry, I just find that adorable. I actually have blight drones. I have every single set of this so far, except for the Zote. I'm not sure if you could buy the Zote yet. I should check that. But they are almost taking the appearance of Necrons with that facial structure. So if you've ever seen a Cryptek, that's what they're kind of reminding me of. Like some type of evolution of the Cryptek from the Necrons, which wouldn't be too big of a surprise, considering that the Necrons have different types of viruses that affect them differently. And one of them could potentially turn them into this, considering one of them turns you into a Destroyer Lord. So, or a Flayed one, or a Destroyer. So there you go. It is very possible that these things are just a type of Necron, which to me would be really cool, though they do lack the gauze aesthetic and they're very blue instead of green. But overall, I would think that that would be kind of cool, or for them to just be their own unique alien race. I really love that GW is paying attention to some of these smaller aesthetics of 40k. Here's hoping we get Tyrillian Dog Warriors. That's going to be a reference for somebody. Or the Shahardin. That would be cool too. Somebody is actually like Googling that right now, just being like, oh, there's shark people in 40k? What? And I'm going to be like, yes. There's also the Felinids, which are cat girls. Have fun with that one. They are absolutely huge. Oh, they look to be... All right, so let's go back to this really quickly. We can actually get a size of them. Ah, here it is. Yeah, we can get a size of them. They look about double to triple the size of the little drone next to him. And the little drone is about 1.5 inches tall. So judging by that, I would say that this guy's about 4 inches tall to 5 inches tall. which does mean that he's about the size. He's a little bit bigger than the Redemptor Dreadnought. I just so happen to keep a tape measure next to me. It's about that big, if I'm right. I want to say he's about 4 inches. Because he's only on a 50 mil base. Yeah, I want to say he's on a 50 mil. So, let's continue reading this thingy. Essentially loads of new cards, surprises, free adventure, bigger rewards, and completing a quest ever. So, your explorer is ready, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah, it doesn't really tell us what else is coming for Blackstone Fortress. So, I'm really excited to see some of these things. One of my favorite things is that the Zote is literally the merchant from Resident Evil. I thought that was a cool twist on the Zote, that he's just an intergalactic salesman. So I was really happy with that. Now we move on to Warcry. Warcry is a game that I've been debating getting into. And originally I thought it was just Chaos Boys doing Chaos Boy things. But then they introduced the not-so-Chaos Girls in the form of the Daughters of Cain. Or not the Daughters of Cain. What are they called again? Oh my god, Marathi's girls. I can't remember what they're called. I want to say they're the Daughters of Cain. Just gonna say.
None can hide from us.
So we do know from what they said on Twitch, that there are a lot more than just 3 members of this warband. But what I'm seeing right now is what I want to do. Actually, I don't need to do that. I could just scroll down. I want to use this as a Shadow Seer for my Harlequin army. Okay. This as an Inquisitorial Acolyte. Okay. Being all cool and everything. And this dude is just amazing. I can't wait to see people's paintings and everything with this, because this is going to be crazy. Also, they're probably going to have rules for AOS. So I'm really excited about that. And then we got this model that they hyped up like crazy that I personally find to be disappointing. And it's because of them toes. Like, she's got a Sigma vibe going on. The veil looks okay. Heavy Metal can't paint faces, so I kind of forgive them for painting faces and looking terrible. But overall, the aesthetic of this model just seems way, way, way overdone in the wrong areas. Like, I feel like she should be leaping, not just kind of whatever this is. I don't know what this is. Like, what's happening here? But it feels like she should be leaping forward. Like 1 foot here, 1 foot just stretched back, kind of like, yeah. Does that make sense? That makes sense. Look, safe fingers. Explain everything. This weird thing would just get stuck on doors. I am not a fan of this. I think it's a cool concept. Like, don't get me wrong. It's a very, very, very cool concept, and I really like it. And it would look awesome in a Sisters of Battle army once you clip off that headpiece and actually put it around her waist or something. Which I personally think it would look better if it was sitting on top of her shoulders, just going around her. Or if it was something else. Like, all right, here's what I would do with this model. I probably going to cover up the feet and reorient the where the feet would be. Like, I would cover up this foot and put the foot behind her, so it at least looks like she's taking a step. Heat treat these things to bend them down to go along with the dress itself. This way it doesn't look like this static metal piece sticking out. It actually looks more like fabric, and in my opinion would look a little bit better. The belt is fine. I really like the belt. I really like the design on this. Kind of reminds me of Jace Beleren from Magic the Gathering. Making all sorts of references right now. The veil is a very cool feature. I do really like this, though it would catch fire. Especially going into a boiling chalice or magic chalice. The chalice just feels a bit too rounded in my opinion. And I feel like it should be sharpened up just a bit. But yeah, cut this thing off and put it around her shoulders. I think this model would look fantastic. That's just my 2 cents on it. I like the model. Do I intend to get it? Nah, probably not. It would be really cool in a Sisters of Battle army, especially as like a priestess in this case, missionary, or an ecclesiarchy, or what else could I use this as? As one of the people on the Triumph of St. Catherine. Blood Bowl out of nowhere. I'm not really a fan of Blood Bowl. My fiance is. He absolutely loves it. So I'm just going to guess that in his opinion, this is probably like the most amazing thing from this reveal ever. Probably the best thing in all of GW's releases forever leading up to this point, except for the Inquisitor we're about to see. But overall, I couldn't care less about Blood Bowl. I think it's cool that GW is supporting their other games, and I think it's amazing, and I hope that they pick up Battlefleet Gothic and do the same thing to it. I'm hopeful for that, but Blood Bowl isn't really my cup of tea. Horus Heresy, we have Sol Tarvitz, one of the greatest heroes ever. He-Man has never looked better, except if it was painted by somebody who wasn't from... I wish these models were being pro-painted at this point. This is a very good paint job, but this is... like, I feel like Heavy Metal has not done the best, and I don't know, it kind of shows with some of these models. I'm just putting that out there. Especially faces. They can't paint faces. But overall, the model itself, I do like it. I do like that he's half sorting, which is a tactic that you use when you have gauntlets, where you actually hold the sword itself and actually swing it like that. And it's really, really, really cool because it makes all parts of the sword a weapon. I do intend to get this guy because I do want to have Loyalist and Corrupted Emperor's Children for my 30k army. I don't like that he's so vain that he put his name on his banner, but overall, I guess that makes sense considering he's an Emperor's Children. But yeah, overall, I really like this model. He does feel so short compared to a Primaris Marine now. Like, now that we have Primaris heroes that actually look like they're big and imposing like Space Marines should, these guys feel a little bit cartoony, if that makes sense. Now we have Pariah. So this I'm super excited about because right here, like, we have the Inquisitor standing in the middle. Okay, we have the Ultramarines up top, the Sisters of Battle up top on the left and right side respectively. We have the two characters from last time, and I'm going to grab the Eldar's name if I can find it. Go at articles 40k. I just want to find the... no. Yeah, here we go. So, Demonifuge. Demonifuge is awesome. I plan to... ooh, that looks so cool. Sorry, I just got... yeah. Sister of Battle. Sorry, I love Ethereal Stern. There he is. The, what is his name? Wow, I cannot find his name. I cannot remember his name, but he's there with Ethereal Stern, with the Inquisitor. So this one I'm super excited about. This is what I'm excited about.
A great silence has fallen.
So I'm going to shut up.
A moment of still terror as the universe prepares for death.
I love the pylons and everything.
Our darkest hour grows ever darker.
God, she looks so cool.
And in the battle ahead, there will be no blood to mark our passing.
Yeah.
Just the husks of men and women reduced to nothing. We must marshal what strength remains. We must trust in the armor of faith.
Oh, the Titans, the Knights behind them. Oh, that is so cool, because that was a Lancer behind her. Not a Lancer, Castigator. The one with the sword and the Vulcan Mega Bolter.
Final silence.
Oh my god. Yes. Sorry, I love this model. I am so hyped up for Inquisition. My favorite faction in all of 40k is the Inquisition. And he looks good too. Like, he looks like a proper Necron, and not the Slav squatting Necrons that we have right now. Alright, let's take a look at this dude. Look at this dude. Like I said, this actually feels like what I imagine Necrons to look like. Because, like, we get all the artwork where Necrons are thin and bony and actually intimidating looking. And this dude actually looks that part. Like, They're definitely going with more of the mechanic-esque, like, Tomb King look, and I really, really, really like it. So what we know is this person is a psyker, and they're ripping out the soul of a psyker. And he is studying it. He is a scientist of some sort that is working on ways of dealing with the psychic threat. So I do think that that's really, really, really cool. As we all know, his new look has been upgraded with some nifty new abilities, including one that works against psychers. A taste of what the Necrons have in store for those who would tap into the warp, perhaps. So, in the Necron lore, they've always been anti-chaos, but only slightly, which is weird. In the 3rd edition Necron Codex, which is the best Necron Codex, which goes into all the details about everything that Necrons should be, and then 4th and 5th edition completely errated Necrons, which sucks. We had things like pariahs, which were humans that, some were humans, that had their entirety of their body coated in liquid metal and replaced and rebuilt to be Necrons, and they were blanks, and it was amazing. They got replaced by the Lich Guard, which... Yay. Lich Guard. So, let's see. When a psychic test is taken from an enemy psyker within 9 inches of this model, immediately suffers paralysis of the warp on any die roll that includes a double instead of just 1s and 6s. That's pretty good. But let's take a look at her. So this is as close as I hope GW ever comes to making a female Space Marine, because this is really close to Space Marine armor. But it is an Inquisitor, and they can literally take anything that they want. We have things like Inquisitor Sabathiel and her Aegis Terminator armor, where it is just Terminator armor from Grey Knights that she is just using. So seeing an Inquisitor in power armor, especially heavy power armor, which I think is on display here. This would be the first model, by the way, with heavy power armor, which comes from the role-playing games. Actually, all of this comes from the role-playing games, which I absolutely love, because I love me some Dark Heresy. So it's cool to see her familiar, as well as, like, just the amount of detail, and the fact that she's got a shuriken catapult. That just makes me happy. The Power Fist, too. Yes. Just all of this is yes. So Draxus is a very different to other Inquisitors who have seen before. She's a radical. Technically Greyfax is a radical, although she's more puritanical than radical. But we've seen radical Inquisitors before, like what is it? Inquisitor Solum from Forge World. He's a radical, and he's also Ordo Xenos. What's up with Ordo Xenos and being radical? By the way, there's 3 different branches of Inquisition. There's radical, Puritan, and heretical. There's also the different orders, not to be confused with that. Hereticus, Malleus, and Xenos. And then there's the Ordo Minoris, which includes the Ordo Cronus, the Ordo Redactus, the Ordo Astartes, which all have their various functions. But the 3 major ones are what everybody focuses on. I personally prefer the Ordo Hereticus, because stopping cults from summoning demons is always good. Stopping wayward psychers and killing them is very important. But let's take a look at this. She's a radical who is comfortable with the use of the weapons of her enemy. She's a radical who's comfortable with using the weapons of her enemies against them. I mean, she's only using a shuriken catapult. Man, if you just saw 1st edition, you would see Eldar with las cannons and plasma guns. In fact, as well as carrying a shuriken catapult and wearing an exotic skull of her on her armor, she even uses a living alien to fight her Xenos foes. Fearful Schlong. Schlong. Sorry. Shang, or however they pronounce the wyvern's name. Although technically the Imperium uses a lot of aliens, so using an alien, a small, minorly intelligent alien, is nothing unique to the atmosphere or the setting of Warhammer 40k, considering Groks are an alien species, considering that most of their food is considered an alien species because it was never on Terra. Like, all animals that they experience on different planets would be considered aliens. So, just saying. Both Shazar and Draxus are available alongside Psychic Awakening Pariah. Prepare yourself for grabbing the ebooks of Psychic Awakening series. So far, yeah, getting the actual physical copies is going to be difficult right now, considering GW isn't really sending anything. But let's hope that they do. So I'm super excited about this because I love me some named Inquisitors. We have a couple of named ones right now. And if you guys follow my channel and know my battle reports, you know that I bring an Inquisitor with my Sisters of Battle. I use the rules for Kotiez, but it's Inquisitor Rosalina Lockwood of the Ordo Hereticus. And I absolutely love her. And then we have the Hammer Bolter and Fertilise, the Warhammer stories that includes the story of two Sisters of Battle. I think this is kind of cool. So I'm excited about this. Also, they're not Armored Lady, they're Ebon Chalice. So that's pretty badass that we get this. She's got like a Zuko vibe going on here, which I kind of dig because I love Avatar. She definitely just looks like Zuko in a wig. Especially in this picture right here. Sorry, she just kind of does. Sorry, that kind of ruined my aesthetic for her. I actually like the nun version of her a little bit better. She looks a little bit more badass in my opinion. Scarring on her face looks nice. This, the 3 black and whites on the bottom are blue and white in this case. The one with her face turned sideways looks probably the best. I really like this character. Her Godwin Diaz pattern Bolter is a little bit weird. That actually doesn't look like a Diaz pattern. That's interesting, because that's the Diaz. Is she not wielding a Diaz? She's not wielding a Diaz. Ooh, that's a different type of Bolter. I'm probably the only one that noticed this, because I am dumb and a nerd. I think that's an Ultima. I want to say that that's the Ultima, which is kind of cool. I hope it's an Ultima. Anyway, my obsession with bolt weapons aside, we have this girl right here who GW cannot paint faces for the life of them. Oh my god. Please paint faces better. It looks good, but not great. So, I don't care about... I do not care about this guy who just... Let's scroll away from him and let's talk about the Adeptus Sororitas. Because this girl is badass. Can you go away? I just want to scroll down. Let me scroll down. There we go. She looks really, really, really cool. And it's cool that she's got a name now. So I do not care about this guy. I care about her. It's weird. Okay. Main complaint time. Because you know me, I have to complain. This is the art that inspired my love of Sisters of Battle. It is super gothic, and I absolutely love the aesthetic of it. Everything on this model is everything on this picture is amazing. The burning heretics in the background, the sixfold path symbol in the back just burning on fire. All of the people put up while they're holding imperial flags. The Amagifier right behind them with the imperial creed on it. Everything here looks amazing. Like, I've always loved this artwork. It is my hands down favorite Sister of Battle artwork. So for it to get a model is amazing. I just wish GW knew how to paint red. Like, her lips and my lips right now match. Like, GW, learn makeup, please. Like, she has shadowing under her eyes, not these bags under her eyes. Her nose is very thin. Like, heavy metal has had their fair share of not knowing how to shade faces, especially female faces. And I've complained about this enough with a lot of their sister releases where the faces look perfectly fine when you paint them. It's just when you see them painted, they look like Macho Man Randy Savage. But overall, this model looks incredibly good and I absolutely love it. Her stance makes a bit more sense in this picture. Like, looking at it now, because it almost looks like she's giving an order to the sisters behind her, because she is sister superior. She's giving the order behind her and then holding her bolt gun up against the enemy that we don't see. So I do like this, but I do think that when I get this model, I'm going to hope the head is tilted a little bit back more So she's looking like this because that's how she's looking. I don't like that this grenade is off center. This bugs me. It's supposed to be like this. But anyway, I'm not going to complain about this because I really, really, really like this model and I think it's absolutely amazing. Like, they did a fantastic job with the model. Paint job, not so much. But see, like, the side view looks fantastic. Good job. Oh, I love it. I love it. Bolt pistol behind her. Look at them hips. They don't lie. They only speak the imperial truth. Is that it? No, this is just them going into... This is the entire stream if you guys wanted to watch it. But yeah, the first thing I did is I'm going to pre-order this. And I'm going to go ahead and pre-order some Inquisition because goddamn. And I'm pre-ordering Ethereal Stern because yes, why would I not? So there's a lot of stuff for Sisters coming out that has me hyped. It is really cool to see this, and I really want to see what the Ultramarines and the Sisters of Our Martyred Lady do when they see Ethereal Stern, because the Sisters have been hunting Ethereal Stern. The Inquisition has been hunting Ethereal Stern, but she doesn't care. She knows the real threat that is facing the Imperium, and she has to deal with it. She knows that chaos is a huge threat, but she views the Necrons as one of the biggest threats. The Necrons view the Tyranids as one of the biggest threats to the galaxy. The Orks view themselves as the biggest threat to the galaxy. The Eldar view chaos as the biggest threat to the galaxy. The Imperium as a whole typically looks at chaos as the main enemy. But it's cool to see the breakdown of different factions, and I'm really hoping that this gives Necrons some precedent for being in the lore, because right now it just feels like they're there, and not necessarily like in a good way. It's just kind of, there's the alien skeletons over there. They sure do stuff. Because right now, if they phased out the Necrons, get it? Jokes there. Kept their older lore and everything, but phased them out, nobody would notice. Like, that's how minuscule the Necrons are. I would actually say that Tau are far more popular than Necrons at this current moment. So I'm hoping people pick up Necrons and actually play them and enjoy them, and their lore stops getting retconned. Please stop retconning the Necrons lore. But with that all said, I want to know what your guys' thoughts were. What did you really like out of this, and what is your favorite thing about it? Also, what do you think about my review series? I hope you enjoy it. As always, if you want to support this channel, follow the links in the description down below. There you can follow me on all sorts of social media. You can follow me on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and Patreon. Patreon goes a long way to support the channel, especially now that I just worked my last day of work and I am currently unemployed. So, yay me! Anyway, if you guys do want to support me on Patreon right now, it would mean a lot to me. It would actually show that you really care about the channel and the future of the channel as we move forward and collect more tiny army men and argue over the lore. As always, I'm NornQueenAlexis. I love you guys. Bye.